Hey you guys, it's Lynnea, and today I'm going to be sharing the Flavor of the Month card kit for June by Scrapping for Less, and the theme is Under the Sea Babies. So let's start here with Collection 1 with the Sea Babies stamp. This is an exclusive stamp set by Averiel, which means you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else other than in this kit. There's also a little roll of silver washi tape by Doris, and then a couple of embellishments, enamel dots by Hero Arts, and some sequins by Scrapping for Less. Let's look at the papers now. These are the watercolor Ocean Babies papers by Scrapping for Less, and I'm going to look through them so that you could see all of them. And they are double-sided, so you're going to get 6 sheets total, double-sided, for a total of 12 patterns in each collection. And these papers are super cute. Check out that little turtle. He's so cute. And the little octopus paper, they're super cute. I love these patterns. From the last kit, I loved the watercolor patterns, and this is kind of like a take on that, except it's under the sea themed. So that is everything in collection number 1. Collection number 2 has this See You Soon stamp by Sunny Studio Stamps, and again, this is an exclusive stamp set for this Scrapping for Less kit, so you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else, and this stamp set is so cute. I love that little shark. I think it's adorable. There are some wood sea life icons by Doris, some sequins by Scrapping for Less, and then you are also going to get a twine embellishment. I didn't get it in time to do this unboxing video, but you will get another embellishment in collection 2 for this kit. The papers are the Neon Sea Life paper pad by Scrapping for Less. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love these. That one with all those little sea critters and these whales, I'm so excited about them. They're so cute. I'm definitely going to have to order an extra paper pad for this pack. And just as a side note, remember that any of the exclusive Scrapping for Less paper packs you can find in the a la carte section on their website when the kit releases. And like last month's kit, I definitely bought a couple extra, and I'm going to buy some extra this kit too. So collection 3 has the Sea Otter stamp set by Hero Arts, and you will get packaging for your stamp set. My son took mine as soon as I opened up my kit. He thought it was cute, so I didn't get that back for the video, but you get the idea. Your stamp will come in packaging. There is this little mesh by Doris. It kind of looks like netting. There's sequins by Scrapping for Less, and then there are these little, they're called wire, or wire. Sorry, I completely blanked. I've had the flu for like a week now, and I'm sorry. Yes, wire. That's of course what that is. The papers are the Sea Creatures by Scrapping for Less. These papers are reds and blues and like your typical nautical masculine color theme. These papers are so awesome for cards for guys, and I think that the otters go really well with this color scheme. It's so traditional, and I just love it. It's super summery to me. So these are the Sea Creatures papers by Scrapping for Less, and that is everything you will get in collection 3. All right, so the last collection, collection 4, has this adorable Sea Buddy stamp set, and this is made by Scrapping for Less. I love that there is like a parent animal and a baby animal, so like a mommy turtle and a baby turtle. So super cute. These are silver metal ocean charms. They're super cute. Like you could make a cute little bracelet, or you could even use the twine and like string them across your card. Super awesome. The sequins are by Scrapping for Less, and check out this amazing bubble stencil, also by Scrapping for Less. I love stencils. You can use them with so many different mediums, so many techniques, and in this video, I'm just going to do simple distress ink blending with it, but there are so many other things you could do with stencils. They're so versatile, and I love when they are included in kits. So the papers are the Sea Buddies papers by Scrapping for Less. Oh my gosh, these fish are adorable. This is another one that I'm going to have to order extras just because like I love those fish, and I love this one too. So these are the papers for collection 4. Moving on, you are going to get 4 envelopes. and a total of, I believe it is 8 sheets of cardstock. I'm missing blue raspberry, but you're gonna get Barely There, bubblegum pink, those are Gina K Designs, and then black licorice, grape jelly, blue raspberry, limeade are MFT, and 2 sheets of the Nina 110-pound Classic Crest Smooth Solar White. So 8 total sheets of paper and 4 envelopes, plenty to make some cards. If you get the banana split level kit, which you definitely should, you are going to get an octopus die by Scrapping for Less. So this is just what the die cuts out. You are going to get the actual metal die, so you can cut as many of these little octopi as you want. He is so super cute. And then this sentiment stamp is amazing. I love this scripty one at the bottom. The ocean's roar is music to the soul. I love that font. It's gorgeous. You're going to get these Daniel Smith watercolor dots, and I'll create a card with them later on. I love these dots because it's a great way to try out different colors of watercolor before you invest in the whole tube. There's also a mini glass bottle by Doris. You could fill this with sand and use it as a little embellishment. Super cute. So you're going to get all of these extra goodies if you get the banana split, in addition to all 4 of the other collections and the papers and the envelopes. So let's dive right into making 5 cards. Like I said, I've had the flu for like a week now, and it knocked me on my butt. So I didn't do any of the coloring live in this video because I've actually been doing a lot of coloring on the go. I have a 3-year-old son, and it doesn't matter. I mean, if you guys are moms, you know it doesn't matter if you're sick or not. If your kid's not sick, you don't stop. So I did most of my coloring. We went to a little play yard, and so I did my coloring while he played, and I could kind of sit and relax and do some coloring. So I did most of my coloring off camera, but next time I'll be sure to include my coloring. So as usual with my videos, if you've watched them before, I leave the sketch that I'm going to be using up in the left corner. And this one, it actually has all of the dimensions for the papers, which really helps me out. You're going to see in other cards in this video, I kind of struggled, and I mean, in the end, they always, like, cards always work out. Even if it's a struggle, it's a handmade card. Like, it'll look beautiful in the end. But it's super helpful to me when the dimensions are there, especially when I'm taking all the Dayquil I can take and my head is kind of in a fog. So I copied this sketch pretty much exactly, except that I did move the little blocks around a little bit to fit my scheme for my card. So, like I said, I stamped and colored all my images. I picked out some of the papers from the Watercolor Ocean Babies papers that are in the first collection. And I just picked out some of my favorite patterns. That one at the bottom there with the little sea critters, I think that's so adorable. And I love that there are a couple of those papers in this collection. So they are like basically ready-made cards. If you wanted to, you could just use that, stamp a sentiment, and be good to go. To finish off this card, I'm using my Spectrum Noir Clear Shimmer Pen over all of my images, and I think I did that actually in every card for this video because I just think that under the sea things should shimmer and shine, especially mermaids. So that is my first card using the products from Collection 1. Here is Collection 2, and this is my sketch. You can freeze this, take a screenshot. These are the measurements that I used to make my card, or at least I thought I was going to. And then in the end, I ended up trimming about 1/16 of an inch off of each one so that I could have a little border on my card. But if you don't want a border, use these measurements that I have written down on my sketch. And I am grabbing the Neon Sea Life papers. These are the ones that are in Collection 2. This took me so long to figure out which ones to use because I love them all, and I didn't want to regret cutting them apart and then not being able to use them. I knew that I wanted to use this one here for the strip at the bottom because I just love the colors on these little sea critters. They're so cute. So I trimmed that down, and I knew I wanted to keep the sand at the bottom, so I made sure to keep that. And then I chose some of the other papers that I thought would kind of go together, and I'm going to start gluing them down. And when you can see here that I colored a whole bunch of images. Like I said, I took them with me on the go and colored them, and then I used my scan and cut to cut them out. I do that a lot for stamping and coloring. And then I just keep all the extra images in the back of the stamp packaging or in a stamp pocket when I finally organize my supplies. And that way, the next time I want to make a card, I am good to go. I already have them colored and cut out, and I can just create. So I chose some images here that worked off the colors in the background, and I tried to keep this one more on the guy-ish side. I have been trying to make some cards for guys, and I always end up having some pink or purple or something in there, and I have a lot of guys in my life, so I tried my best to keep these kind of neutral colors, and in the end, I think that it's perfect for a guy card. So I stacked up that "See You Soon" sentiment, and I love the font in this. That's so cute. I'm going to add my little shark, my octopus, and my fish with some foam squares onto a die-cut circle, and then I will add that to my card. I'm using some liquid glue to adhere these down. Usually I use a different glue, but I'm going to Junkie Fest in, it's like a week away now, so pretty much all my supplies are packed, but in the end, it really doesn't matter what glue you use as long as it's going to hold tight. And I usually do use tape runner adhesive, but I couldn't find it. I'm pretty sure my son has it somewhere. So I ended up using liquid glue, and in the end, I'm glad that I did because that gives me time to wiggle around those pieces and make sure that I have an even border. To raise up this circle, I'm going to use some fun foam. So I started by adding some glue to the back, and then I just carefully use my scissors and trim away the excess foam. And that is the easiest way that I found to add some even dimension behind a die cut piece. You could also, this die that I used is a stacking die, so I could have grabbed my die and die cut the fun foam again, but for me it's just easier to use my scissors. So here we go again with the sparkle glitter pen, and that is going to finish off this card using products from collection number 2. All right, so let's start collection 3. I'm going to be using the Simple Sketch. Again, it's up in the left corner of my little craft area here. And I'm going to be cutting down some of the Sea Creatures papers by Scrapping for Less. And I messed up cutting this first one because I wanted to have those 2 red stars in it. And I chopped off the other side. Again, I'm going to chalk that up to the day quill that I've been taking. But essentially, I am just going to have the background of my card be white. I'll have a strip of that starfish paper and then a little bit of those red and white stars peeking out the bottom. I have the reverse scallop circles dies by Pink and Main, and I cut out one of the circles, and then I'm going to blend on some Distress Oxide Abandoned Coral ink using a brush here. And I was trying to match the red in the red stars paper, and I should have probably used maybe like a candied apple color. I thought it matched until I held it up against the actual pattern paper from the collection, and this is a little bit light, but I thought it looked okay in the end. So I added some water flicks, and then I also added some red watercolor flicks to it just to add some texture and dimension. I popped up those strips of the pattern paper with some fun foam, and then again I'm using liquid adhesive to glue that down, and that gives me that little bit of wiggle room just to make sure that it's on there. And then I'll put something heavy on top. I usually use an acrylic block or my phone, something that has some weight to it. I'm going to add some foam squares to the back of my otter. And again, I did pre-color this little otter. He is so cute. This one is from the Hero Arts Sea Otters stamp set. And I am just going to fit him in there. It pops, that centerpiece pops right back in like a puzzle piece. I used some dark mint colored ink to stamp the sentiment. And again, I will pop that up with some little pieces of foam squares and a little bit of liquid adhesive just where he overlaps the otter. I'm going to come in with my Spectrum Noir clear shimmer pen in just a minute here after I make sure my sentiment is straight. always use a T-square ruler. This is something I've been doing probably since the new year, and I never thought that I needed a T-square ruler until I spent the like $2.50 on it, and now I use it on every single card. So this is my finished little otter card using the products from collection 3. All right, so let's jump into collection 4. These Sea Buddies papers are, I think, probably my favorite from the kit. So I knew that I wanted to use this little, the fishies here with all those rainbow colored fish. That is such a gorgeous paper. You could definitely just even keep that the focal point of your card and just stamp a sentiment right on top. I'm using the bubble stencil. I've sprayed the back of it with pixie spray just to make sure that it's going to adhere well to the front of my card. And then I grabbed a few colors of distress ink. I started with Squeezed Lemonade, and now I'm doing some Twisted Citron, and I will use some peacock feathers as well. In the end, I think the Twisted Citron got a little lost because between that blue and the yellow, it kind of made its own green, more like a mowed lawn green, but that's okay. I just went back and forth through all of my colors, and then I came back in with the yellow because that's my lightest color, so I just kind of blended out those bubbles a little bit. And that background is so cute. Again, you can use that stencil for so many techniques. I have a piece of the yellow and white polka dot paper. I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and this one is actually from the sentiment stamp in the Banana Split kit, but I just love this sentiment so much, and I thought that it would go great with the seahorses for my card. So I matted everything with the green cardstock. This is the Limeade cardstock from My Favorite Things, and this is included in your kit. I backed that with the cardstock, and then I'm just going to glue my little circle embellishment here. I did kind of tweak the sketch a little bit. For the most part, I kept the sketches as is for this kit, which is amazing to me. Usually I change almost all of them, but I tried to keep true to the sketch, and this one, I don't know, I just couldn't make, there's no measurements on this one, and I couldn't make it look the way that it did in the sketch, so I just said, whatever, and I made it my own. I added those little seahorses to my circles, and that was the end of my card. So let's move on to my little bonus card, my 5th one here, using the Banana Split goodie pack. To start out with, I wanted to see what these Daniel Smith watercolors look like. So all you do is just pull that color out. So I'm using some clean water, running my brush over the little droplets of color, and just kind of pulling them out so that you can see the colors. These are gorgeous. I love that little moonstone one, or moon glow rather. It's like a gray, but it has a hint of purple, I feel like, to it. So I'm going to start watercoloring a background. And you treat these little watercolor dots just like you would any other watercolor. Add a little water, pick up some color, and blend it onto your paper. Now, in the end, I did end up going over that light blue at the top with the green color that's in that bottom left. It was just too light. I really wanted to use the turquoise as well as the moon glow at the bottom, and that blue at the top was just looking too light. But I ended up working my paper so much because I thought I could deepen up that color, and in the end it just wasn't working. So I just went over it with the green, and I quite like how it looked in the end. So all I'm doing is just adding water, going back and forth, kind of keeping this background in thirds for color. And in the end, you can kind of see that I start pulling up my paper on the left and on the right there. I'm just adding too much water and I'm working it too much. So I ended up adding that green over the top and then setting it aside to dry. So now I am using the octopus die, and it's die cut from some white paper. And I'm going to ink him up at the bottom with some spiced marmalade ink, and then at the top with some squeezed lemonade. I end up not using the fossilized amber. I just got it out as a mid-tone color in case the yellow was too light to blend with the orange, but they ended up blending really well. And I think that's because I grabbed my oxides. The oxides inks always blend so smooth for me. So I'm just using a brush, adding some color to the top and to the bottom, and I chose those colors because I thought it would stand out from my background. So since my paper was kind of pulling up, I added some black watercolor spatters to the background, and I took a marker and added some black dots to the eyes so that they wouldn't get lost. I stamped out my sentiment a couple times with different inks because I wasn't sure what I would like the best. And in the end, I always love the look of a white heat embossed sentiment on top of black cardstock. So let's take a look at all 5 of the cards I made today using each of the 4 collections plus the extra goodies in the banana split kit. As we are looking through these, I would love it if you would tell me your favorite card or maybe your favorite technique in this video. I read every one of your comments and I appreciate them so much, and I try my best to take your critiques and your feedback and tweak my videos so that they are more to what you would love. So thank you all so much for watching. You can click the link in the video description to head over to my blog and see the blog post for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.